Hey everybody, this is Brandon Ford. Welcome to the Blind Rage podcast. I am happy to announce that I have Tony the Tiger, a.k.a. the Thunder from Down Under, back with me.
G'day everyone. Good to be here again.
I was wondering if you were going to remember.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody, we just had an epic fail over here. We recorded a introduction where, well, I did just most of the talking, and most of the talking that I did was bashing the Fear Street movie. So I don't really think we lost anything noteworthy.
Well,
So,
you had
at
recorded
least
your
we
Fear
didn't-
Street podcast, so if you want to catch up on that, it's all on that.
No, I deleted it because
Ah,
I don't know how to edit. Shit. So, I mean, if I was a little more adept at this kind of stuff, I'd be like, oh, no problem. We can mesh it together. But now I don't know how to do that because I'm stupid. So, yeah, we are doing the 1993 thriller The Crush, starring Alicia Silverstone and Carrie Elways. And it feels so weird to talk about this again because it just feels odd repeating myself. So,
now we know how actors feel about looping,
yeah, but they're getting paid.
I'm being paid in satisfaction, so.
Yes, you are. The satisfaction of being on a podcast that nobody listens to.
Oh, heavens, to Betsy.
Except for you.
Yes.
Tony likes to listen to my back episodes for some reason. Go ahead.
You make me sound like Alicia Silverstone in The Crush.
Well, that's a compliment.
I've created sentences using your old podcasts, and like I have chats with you.
Oh, God. Well, okay. All right. We'll carry on. Yes. And I, of course, have to get the plugs out of the way. Before we do so, I am a bit frazzled. I know I said I wasn't, but I kind of am because this kind of threw me because I really wasn't expecting it. First time that happened, at least with you and me. So,
Yes.
All right. But we're going to soldier through.
Yes.
For Alicia. Okay. So, as always, please don't forget to check out my books in Kindle and paperback editions by going to Amazon.com or the Amazon app, typing in Brandon Ford. You'll find several of my titles as well as my Amazon author page. If you prefer audiobooks, you can find me on audible.com as well as the Audible app by typing in Brandon Ford. If you don't already, please don't forget to follow me on Instagram at writer Brandon Ford, on Twitter at Brandon Ford, on Letterboxd at Brandon Ford, and you can follow Tony on Letterboxd at Tony_the_bear.
Brr. That's the sound of bear makes.
I was lackluster, but I'll take it. Also, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, critiques, recommendations, please feel free to email me directly at blindragepod81@gmail.com. And most importantly of all, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And I noticed that they changed it. Did you notice that they changed the podcasting format on the iPhone? It's different.
No, I haven't. Although I do it through Spotify.
Oh. Well, yeah, it's different now. I think Apple's trying to, get with the times now. So instead of subscribing to a podcast, you follow a podcast.
Okay.
So please follow me if you're listening on Apple, and subscribe if you're listening elsewhere.
Yeah.
And so we had this whole big thing about Fear Street and how The Crush did Down Under. I don't think I want to rehash that again because I don't really think it was that interesting. For me, anyway, my rambling, not you.
No, that's fine. I can take a hint.
Well, we can just take on.
Well, to synopsize, The Crush in Australia found its popularity after Clueless came out because Alicia became popular. So, and I think similar with Hideaway. I remember the VHS copy having, like, with Clueless, Alicia Silverstone.
And she wasn't even the lead in Hideaway.
No.
Yeah, that was Jeff Goldblum's movie. But it also had Jeremy Sisto in it from Clueless.
Yes, that's true.
And they did that before Clueless. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Oh, well, I should say that we are not watching the Blu-ray edition put out by Scream Factory because, as I explained to Tony on the Bad Dreams episode, because we were talking about Jennifer Rubin, that is an overdubbed version that removes all mentions of the name of Alicia's, the original name of Alicia's character, which was Darian, and they changed it to Adrian. And I noticed for a while on IMDb in the cast, they changed it there to Adrian, and then they changed it back to Darian. So I don't know what it is right now because I didn't look.
On Wikipedia, it's Adrian/Darian. So maybe just to cover their bases, yeah. And then in the plot summary, it's Darian. So.
Oh. And what is the what are the numbers? Does it say what the budget and the gross was?
Oh, I just I didn't really go through it. I just looked at it to get the cast names because if I look at it on IMDb, it shows all their pictures and it's too much to print off because I still use paper.
Right. So yeah, I had meant to look at it, but I kind of went through a wormhole because I was trying to find an interview with Alicia that I found right before I recorded because I did a commentary for this for a B Movie Bonanza.
Yeah. Oh,
and it's not very good. But yeah, I found an interview that she had done with somebody who worked for Fangoria. And he was doing an interview with her about Hideaway, and which she had just finished. And I think The Crush was just coming out, so he was asking her about The Crush, and she had a very unusual take on the movie.
Okay.
Which I will go into a bit when we start. But so yeah, I couldn't find it, and I went down this wormhole of all these other interviews that she had done, and her talking about the Clueless reunion, and her on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and he was asking her about a sequel, and
okay,
that's not going to happen. But yeah, so this, as I said before, The Crush is loosely based. You know what? And I bet this is all on the Blu-ray. as supplemental materials, because I know that there are interviews, and I think there's a commentary track with the writer director Alan Shapiro, but I didn't see it, and I refused to buy it because I refused to buy a copy of the movie with that shitty dubbing of her name. But yeah, so what happened was Alan Shapiro wrote a script that was loosely based on a real life experience he had with a teenage stalker who was named Darian, and he kept her name. I don't know why he did that, but he kept her name in the script, and the real Darian sued sometime after the movie was released on VHS, or I guess they settled after it was released on VHS. So all releases of the movie after the VHS have the overdubbing of her name from Darian to Adrian.
And apparently it was done by different actors, just by the way.
It was not a single person came back for it. And it sounds so shitty, and it's so distracting. And I remember the first time I saw it with the dubbing, I was watching it because it was a primetime movie on Fox, and I was like, what the hell is this? And I just thought it was something that they did for the TV version.
Yeah.
And then some years later, I bought the DVD, and it was there too, and I was not happy. And then I did some research, and I learned the whole story. And yeah, I'm still not happy. And when I saw that Shout Factory was putting it out, I tweeted them and said, is it going to be the theatrical audio? And they said, no, because of some legalities, we can't use it. Well, I was like, well, fuck that. So yeah, it sounds so shitty. If you want to hear it, and that's you or anybody else, it's on Tubi for free. Or you can, there are some clips of it on YouTube, and she's got the name Adrian. I was trying to find a clip I was trying to find the trailer to put at the beginning of the episode, but there's one that Scream Factory put out, or Shout Factory put on, but they always have a fucking wolf howling at the beginning of all of their clips, and then a little, fucking thing at the end that says, what their website or whatever is, and I can't edit audio. Yeah. So I don't know how to do this shit. So I was looking for clips, and I found a clip of the scene when the attic scene when the father shows Nick the carousel, and the father says, "What book did you loan Nick?" And it's Adrian. So what book did you loan Nick? And it's a totally different voice. It sounds so bad. It sounds so fucking bad.
They could have used Sylvester Stallone. Anyway.
Yeah, they could have. It would have sounded better. It couldn't have sounded any worse, I could tell you that. So, all right.
Should we get to it?
I think we should.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So I don't know how you're going to watch along if you so choose, because we are watching the VHS version with the theatrical audio, but I'm sure if you try, you can sync up the redubbed edition. But okay. So, and Tony is going to pound the shit out of that play button like he always does.
It feels very satisfactory.
Okay. Well, whatever makes you happy. All right. So we're going to do a 3 count, and then we're going to play. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. There was something else that I wanted to say about. Oh, yes. When we were talking about when we were doing the Psycho Beach Party commentary, remember we talked about that movie, The In Crowd?
Yes.
Well, I remember the first time I saw that movie, the lead character, her backstory is very similar to Darian's backstory.
Yeah.
And she has, she talks about having an obsessive relationship with an older guy. Only in the in crowd, she attacks him and she bashes his windshield with a baseball bat, and she had to go into a psychiatric hospital for it. So there was that, and her name is Adrian.
Yes.
So I thought
that's interesting.
It was a sequel. I thought there was a possibility that maybe this was a sequel. And it could be. I've never,
I'd say it'd be an unofficial sequel.
Maybe. But they tried to make her a sympathetic character in that movie. Yeah. And, that was garbage. Are we about to... No, not yet. Oh, and interestingly enough, Amber Benson... I know. I used to see his name for in opening titles for a lot of movies around this time.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, Amber Benson, who is in this, who plays Cheyenne, she was in a movie with the girl who is the lead in the In Crowd called Taboo.
Yeah.
And
she was also in the movie Don's Plum, if you ever heard of that.
No.
It was one of those movies, I'm quite sure I haven't watched it. Maybe when my sister rented it, but it's one of those movies like Leonardo DiCaprio is in it, and he sued to have it not be shown. It's one of those movies that people who are popular,
Total Eclipse?
No, I'm quite sure it's just called Don's Plum, and like it's got a bit of like overacting in the background. I don't.
There she is.
Mm-hmm. And watching this, I wasn't sure if the scene was sort of redone in the movie Swim Fan, if you ever saw that.
I have.
Where
I don't remember it,
Jesse, he nearly hits her, like, because she's on the road, crossing the road. And that's how they first see each other.
I don't remember that. That was, a so-so movie, but I thought Erica Christensen was good in it. She did a good enough job. And
I quite liked the movie. It didn't get a great rap, but I quite liked it.
I should check it out again. I haven't seen it in such a while. I remember what's his name being really cute.
You get to see some pubes. Just in a swimming scene, but sorry, what were you going to say about Amber Benson? Oh.
No, I already made that point. We were past it. Yeah, she was in the movie. She was in the movie Taboo.
The In Crowd, yes.
With the girl from the In Crowd. What is this Leonardo DiCaprio movie you're talking about?
It's called Don's Plum, and I reckon it's got like.
And who else is in it?
I want to say Elijah Wood, but I could be very wrong with that one. Or Tobey Maguire, that's who's in it as well, I reckon. Yeah.
And what's it about?
Oh, I know. I don't. I didn't care enough to look it up. I saw a few clips, like just clips that were shown in an article about it, and it was just them kind of overacting. It was almost like a drama class type of acting. But yeah, they sued, and now it can't be shown commercially in USA or Canada, I reckon. But
it's that bad.
Well, I don't know. Like, yeah, it could be that it will just affect their how they are presented in the public, I suppose. It could be like
Very
in
90s
my mind,
movie.
it could be that it's an offensive movie or something like that, and that would really sway perception.
I thought you were going to talk about Total Eclipse.
No, what's that movie about?
I think it's based on a true story. It's him and what's his name from Lincoln? Really method.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're a gay couple in it, and there's like kind of a racy sex scene where Leonardo is just like fucking pounding him in the ass.
Oh.
And Daniel Day-Lewis is like kind of, it's not sexy at all, because Daniel Day-Lewis is like kind of crying because he's like, he looks like he's agonized. But I just remember that part, and I remember a scene with Leonardo like on a ledge, and he's like with a towel on, and he like is dancing with his little ass shaking. But this was like 95, so he was probably around 18 something ish, and he very much looked like a little boy until he was about 40.
Yes.
So there was really nothing sexual about it.
I mean, I don't think that he would call for that one to be banned, because he did Basketball Diaries, where he, had a gay scene in that as well. Not that there's anything wrong with doing gay scenes, but
there's Jennifer Rubin.
Mm-hmm. They named a sandwich after her. This boss, I find he overacted the role, just by the way.
A bit. Yeah. I never really thought about it before because I didn't really pay him much attention. But yeah, he kind of does.
Yeah.
Like Carrie Elways struggles very, very hard to do an American accent, as he always does.
Well, when he, I notice that when he yells out, I can hear the British coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But I recently watched Kiss the Girls, just, I think, incidentally, because of having seen this again. And he does more of a southern accent in that one.
It definitely does leak out. Even when he's just speaking in a casual tone. Speaking of which, I told you that I had finished the book Magic last night, and the movie's on Tubi, and Anthony Hopkins' accent was going in and out.
Oh, okay. Was he trying to do American in that?
Yeah, I think. I don't know what the hell was going on, because he's Welsh, and like in the beginning he has a full English accent. Then as the movie progressed, it like kind of faded out, and then it came back, and I was like, "What?" I don't. In the novel, I believe the character is supposed to be American.
Yep. Maybe they hired an acting coach halfway through, like a voice coach.
Perhaps, and. I was looking because I thought maybe it was me. I was like, maybe he's not English, or I don't know. So I Wikipedia'd him, and that's when I found that he was Welsh, and he studied at some very what do you call it? Elite acting school.
It wasn't Eton upon Avon, or
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about Anthony Hopkins. So, yeah, so getting back to that interview with Alicia that she did, she really did have an interesting take on the movie in that she said that she saw her character more as a victim
Okay.
and Nick as the villain, and he leads her on a lot. And
Yeah.
there were some edits that made him out to be less of a victim than he is seen in the movie.
Yeah.
But none of that really makes any sense because, I mean, she tries to kill Amy and she tries to kill her camp counselor, who Cheyenne said that she had a crush on before.
Yeah.
And she's full tilt homicidal at the end of the movie.
Yes.
But I believe there is a scene that was cut after it's right after this scene, I believe, where they're talking about the pool for the next door neighbors. The next door neighbors, and he's talking about that it's lit up. I think there's a scene in which they go swimming.
Okay.
And there's some impropriety in it. She didn't say exactly what it was, but she said it was a very important scene for her character.
Yeah.
And also this, he just got really loud. Did you hear him?
No.
Now he's cackling like a fucking idiot.
Your neighbor.
My neighbor, yeah. But the scene where they're kissing at the lighthouse too, that kiss supposedly goes on longer.
Yeah. It could
right
be that
here.
She
right here is where that
it
scene
went to the
was.
pool. Yeah. Maybe she took the role, like in her mind, she's the victim, and she was doing everything
that
out
could
of
be
being in love with Carrie.
That's a really good point. Yeah. That's a really good point.
Because
but,
I assume,
you know,
sorry, I assume with a lot of these type of stalker movies that the Alicia Silverstone or the Glenn Close character, they're doing it from a point of being so very in love with this person, and that's caused them to do these violent things.
Right.
Oh, God.
Are you okay?
Sorry, I didn't shut my gate, so now I can see my kids at the glass door, and they're just watching me.
God.
So.
Oh, that's so sad.
I'm gonna have to not look.
Yeah, you make eye contact. You make eye contact, and it's over. But yeah, and speaking of, impropriety, in the scene before this one, when he invited her in when she's in her nightgown, and it's very late. Not at all appropriate.
Well, yeah, I think, but for the fact that she is a psycho, he should have been a responsible adult from the get-go. I think he opened the door a bit too much.
Yes. I'm wondering if that was a double right there. Whatever, whose ever ass that was, it was nice from what I remember. And I love how he gets dressed in about 2.2 seconds. He's fully dressed.
Means he's a slut. He knows how to get undressed and dressed very quickly.
Or maybe the scene was a little bit longer.
It was the Texas switch.
This is one of my favorite moments of in the movie when she blocks the door. Right there.
Yes.
I remember that was in the trailer. See, he was firm, but he was playful there with the out. Yeah, he would have got fucking Me Too'd so hardcore.
Yes. Well, this whole film, I think would have been a victim of the Me Too movement in a good way. Like, it was a very necessary movement.
Sure. And you know what I think is interesting too is the scene later in the movie when Jennifer Rubin's character asks him, "Did you do something to provoke this?"
Yeah.
And he says no. But he kind of does.
Yeah. Well, he's not very self-reflective on the answer.
No. And I think that, you are sending mixed signals to this girl.
Yeah.
I would have kept my distance right away from the day that I moved in.
If I
were a heterosexual male.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay. We'll go either way. If there was somebody, especially somebody who was 14.
Yes.
No. And I wouldn't have even gone to this party.
No. Like, he's a bit too much of a pushover.
She's really hairsprayed up at this party. So do you remember the first time you saw this?
I remember when it was on TV, and I was in primary school, and so I remember the neighbours loving it, and because I used to play with the girls, as kids.
Yes,
and they used to,
I did as well.
They used to watch this movie a few times. Whereas the other neighbours used to love Grease too.
I think you told me about her.
No, my sister liked
Kurtwood
Grease too.
Smith from That 70s Show.
Yes. And it was from the movie Fortress, I think.
Oh, he's been in a ton of stuff. I always remembered in the trailer or in the TV spots that used to come on, there are two things that are not in the movie. One is a shot of her diving into a pool.
Yeah.
And there's another of in the scene when the first night he sleeps with Amy, when she's standing at the foot of the bed. In the trailer, she grabs the sheets and starts to tug at them.
Yes, that was apparently not in the movie. I saw that in the trivia.
Oh, really?
Yes. But
I always remember that.
She should have been trained better on how to play the piano to make it look believable. Some of the notes just were not really syncing up.
Did you see her hands?
Well, you could see where they were in relation to the keyboard.
Well, I mean, that was a pretty... it sounded to me like a very intricate piece of music.
See, I didn't know, when I rewatched this again, I didn't know if I liked that whole her rewriting stuff. But I guess it did show that she's a young genius type of thing, where she could...
Yes. It was supposed to show how smart she is. Yeah.
It reminded me of, like, I watched years ago the movie Cape Fear, and the screenwriter wanted to have a scene where Robert De Niro's character helps do some design that the wife is working on, and the screenwriter was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, because, like, when did he become like a graphic designer in prison or something?
That movie's rough.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to watch that.
Oh, really? Why's that?
Did you know... in particular, the scene with Ileana Douglas.
Yeah, when he bites her cheek off.
Yeah. Did you know in the script that I don't know why I'm going on about Cape Fear, but in the script, that scene when they're like playing around and she's laughing and she's saying, you know, oh, police officer, it's a mistake when he's handcuffing her and everything. None of that was in the script. That was all her.
Oh, okay.
She before they did the scene, she went up to Martin Scorsese and she said, I have an idea. The audience knows that he's a psychopath.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. So I think it would be scarier if she didn't know the kind of danger she was in. So to make her be laughing and having fun, not knowing what's coming, it would build the suspense.
Yeah.
And they did it, and it worked really, really well. I don't think it would have been as effective because in the movie, in the script, she was supposed to be, you know, fighting him and saying, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then when he pulls her hair and pulls her head back and shit goes crazy. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more effective, I think.
Yeah, that change in tone worked a lot better than a build-up of suspense.
Mm-hmm. Here we're about to get to the kiss. I must have been so uncomfortable for him.
Yes.
To kiss her. Because I think she was about 14 when they did this. She was 14 or 15.
She was emancipated or something.
And yes, that's why she was.
Do a lot of... she wasn't hindered by a lot of rules about minors. As in, I think like to do with like, say, shooting at night and stuff like that. And certain hours.
Yeah, well, yes. That's there when Excess Baggage came out, MTV did a special on it, and she was talking about making this movie, and yes, she did get emancipated, and she was talking about how much she enjoyed the freedom that she had because she was living as an adult. She had her own trailer, she was cooking her own meals, and said she had a lot of fun doing this movie.
You know, something that I thought when I at the beginning is the family seems quite rich. Why do they need to rent out a room? But like the house is quite extravagant.
It is,
and they're hosting these, you know, piano galas, and but they need to like do an Airbnb.
Well, this is another really, really inappropriate scene. This would not fly today at all. And especially this song.
Yes. Although I think this is almost a direct homage to Lolita, especially with the sunglasses that she has on.
You know what? Those sunglasses, I think, are a character in this movie.
Yes.
They are, because she wears them very well, and I think I love the way they look on her on the artwork.
Yes.
And yeah, it helped her, I think, develop her character.
Yeah, I know there are some actors who work from outside in, and so like they'll develop their character based on the costume, and it works well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know they'll. I forget who it is, but someone was given particular boots, and that helped them develop their character. But hers was the sunglasses.
I think you're talking about Gunnar Hansen in Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, he was a big man already, but those boots made him huge.
Mm.
And apparently it was very, very uncomfortable for him to run in
them. I enjoyed seeing Jennifer Rubin just playing a different role than what I had seen her in. She's almost the street smart. She's not a victim in this, as much as she gets attacked. Compared to her other movies, she was very much on the back foot for a lot of it.
I don't know if I agree with that.
What don't you agree with?
Oh, are you talking about in comparison to Bad Dreams, or are you talking about Elm Street 3?
Well, both.
Well, yeah, she's definitely not the character that she was in either movie. It's also possible that I didn't hear you correctly because we don't. Sometimes I don't hear exactly what you're saying, and I don't want to ask you to repeat it. But
I'm a mumbler, I know.
No, it's not you. It's the connection. Did you hear that little fuck?
Yes.
I wonder if that was in the script.
Well, there's a few more fucks compared to when it first aired in the television, and which is good. So it makes me think that it probably was, because I think there's another 2 F-bombs. It wasn't aiming for a PG rating or anything.
No, I don't think they were. This is R.
Yeah. No, with movies that are trying to be PG-13, there'll only be the one fuck, and they'll sort of place it. But with this one, there's a few.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that they were going for a PG-13.
No.
This is a great moment here. She's so fucking bitchy.
You shady bitch.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I like the look that Jennifer Rubin gives her, too.
I imagine girls love this movie. Just going by all the girls that were in my life at the time.
They probably wanted to be Darian.
Yes.
Because she's, fearless. And, she gets what she wants.
Although, I was going to mention earlier how you were saying, he had to change the name. I feel like he should have just started out with the name Adrian, especially legally. I think he should have sort of realized that it might have gotten him into some trouble to name someone Darian that was based on someone called Darian.
Yeah, you would think, especially since Darian is such an unusual name.
Yeah, and
never
Adrian
Darian
is a nifty anagram of Darian anyway, so it would have been like a smart move.
Well, yeah, all they did was change the D and the R and the A. Look at that old flip phone.
Yes. I was getting nostalgia with all the floppy disks.
I fucking hated those things. But I remembered when I got my first computer not my first computer, but I remember when I got my first computer with a tower that didn't have a floppy drive, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, is this a mistake? Where?
Did it awake a little bit of fear in you? Of like, oh my God, what if I need the floppy disk?
Well, I went out and bought a zip drive.
Oh, yep.
Which was even shittier. And yeah, I held on to that for about a week. And then I brought it back and I got my first thumb drive. Which was like a gig and it cost about $100.
Yep.
So what do you think about Carrie? Does he do it for you?
is a very handsome man. His style is of the time. I actually, I've never seen The Princess Bride, but I think that's where he got his nose first. Actually, what I was actually thinking about this earlier is I think I found him more attractive in Kiss the Girl, sorry, because I read the book and apparently he's like well hung. And I realize it's not Carrie, but it's sort of, I think that gravitated me towards him a bit.
So you're just fantasizing the whole time about him being a character.
Did you have something for Carrie?
Oh, I think he's very cute, yeah. But he is not aged well at all.
Oh.
I heard, though, that he had some work done and it made him look even worse.
Well, in the last Jigsaw, I reckon he was in that, and it's, I think, is having his like middle-age spread type of thing. It's it's aging by getting a bit wider featured in the face.
He was in the last one?
I reckon, or it was in one of the later ones. He came back as a survivor, and he was.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Part of the villainy. But
I had no idea.
I'm not a huge fan of the Saw.
No.
The last 5, let's say. So.
Well, 2 was.
I wonder what that. Sorry, do you remember what they did with the pillow? They changed her name because she stitched in DF plus NE.
Well, it didn't say Darian, so I guess they probably left it, and the audience is probably like, "Huh?
Who the fuck is DF?
Who the fuck is DF?" What was I saying? Oh, about Saw. You know, I think because the first one I really enjoyed. I wanted to like the sequels, and I guess I like 2 and 3 okay, even though they're nothing that I wanted to revisit. 4 was kind of and then I remember being so angry at 5 because they kept changing everything. It was like, oh no, you thought it happened this way? Actually, it happened this way.
Yeah.
And they were like showing you how everything was set up. And I was like, oh, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I finished 5 because it pissed me off.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's really insulting to the audience, the way they did a lot of the things.
It's trying to be clever, but it just ends up being stupid.
Mm-hmm. And the Saw and the script for Saw 2 wasn't even a Saw 2 script. It was another movie that they tweaked to make it Saw 2.
Yeah.
The girl, the double who goes into the bathroom, you could tell is clearly not her. Because she's not, because Alicia Silverstone is not built like that.
Yes. This one had hips, whereas Alicia still had a bit of the chubby, prepubescent type of body.
Yeah. Not that she wasn't beautiful, but she just didn't look. That was a woman who went into the bathroom. I have to say, too, getting back to the scene when they're upstairs with the carousel, I think it was a little unrealistic for the father to say, "What book did you loan Nick?" He wouldn't have said that. He wouldn't have given 2 shits.
Well, if it's going to be building a carousel in the attic, then he might have been asking dumb questions like that. See, I couldn't get over the carousel.
Yeah, but yeah, but when you look at the movie now, you would have to realize that this was clearly a setup for something that's coming later.
Yeah.
But as much as I don't like that moment, I do like her reaction. She's book. And then the way she says, "Did you like it?" Yeah, she's really, really good in this movie.
Mm.
This and the Aerosmith videos helped her get the role in in Clueless.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I just hit the microphone. But yeah, we were talking before about all the movies that she had done around this time that didn't come out until after the fact. Yeah, there was a lot. Or I don't even know if we talked about it on the podcast or after.
I think it might have been after.
Yeah.
But I was saying I didn't mind the one she did for True Crime. Oh, it was after because I looked it up because I don't like I don't like playing with the computer while we're talking. And I was just remembering True Crime now because that sort of ends on a amusement park ride as well, wasn't it?
It does. Yep. And another reason why I didn't like it was because it's yet another in a long line of movies that takes a beautiful girl and tries to make her look frumpy and unattractive by putting big glasses on her. It's always big glasses and a ponytail. It's the she's all that syndrome.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, she did. I think it was after this was when she really started doing stuff back to back. Well, there was a terrible movie that she did for Showtime called The Cool and the Crazy that was set in the 50s. It was really bad.
And then she did Blast from the Past.
No, that wasn't until like 97.
In reference to the 50s. Although, just incidentally, just to be a nerd, I looked up the plot for Wuthering Heights after she mentions that's the book because she has a big poster of it earlier as well, and it sort of has some similarities, but not much. There's a Mr. Lockwood moves in and is a tenant to some.
You're not familiar with Wuthering Heights?
No, I've never read the book or seen the movies. I have listened to the song, though.
This is another one of my favorite scenes. She's so psycho bitch in this scene.
She nearly kicks him in the face.
I think the swing, too, was a really smart choice because it makes her look childlike. But she's also got a very adult rage in her and manipulation. And I think it's also trying to show the dynamic between the two of them, that she is a child because she's on the swing, and he's very much an adult.
Yeah, but it's also visually he's the one who is still, and she's the one who's crazily back and forth.
Well, yeah, and I think it's because he's so uncomfortable too, and she's not phased at all. She was swinging back and forth until he made her stop. Mm. And the line about ever do a virgin, I know you want to. That, oh. Hmm.
There we are. It's
Yeah.
Now look, let's avoid any confusion here. I'm gonna make this very simple.
there's the Brit.
Too young for me. There's no
Yep,
between us.
totally. And she laughs at him. I love that.
Yes.
She laughs at him. She puts the sunglasses back up and continues swinging.
Oh,
But while
sweetie.
he's yelling, I know. But while she's yelling, I love that shake of her head. Like, no, of course not. No.
Yeah, it's like
And then she laughs.
she's the adult and he's behaving childishly.
Mm-hmm.
Now I wonder.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
Just going back to like I don't want to be hung up on it, but on the Darian thing, did that all happen after the director was talking about where he got the inspiration from? Because I feel that like they could have kept the name had he not been blabbering his mouth about, oh yeah, there was this girl who was stalking me back when I was starting
No,
off.
no, I don't think so. She probably kept
'Cause she-
very close tabs on him, and
Well,
she
she apparently
probably
did
saw the
that.
movie.
She wrote scratched onto his car something similar. Alan
did
sucks
she?
cock. Yeah.
Oh. I love
I
these
used-
kind of fucking parents. If you didn't actually see her, and then it's, they ask her, she says no, and it's like, oh, that's that. Great
Well,
parenting
withhold
right there.
all we need.
What I don't like about this part too is when she says hi to him and he like nods his head like,
Yeah.
I would have been glowering at her like, you fucking
Yes.
cunt.
Don't hi me.
But he's just like, hey, yeah, really. And again, she didn't answer. She just says, why would I do that? So it was lying without lying. I would have been so fucking uncomfortable if I was him. And now she's going to do the crossword. It's like, really? Now, I heard a rumor. I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard a rumor that when they were preparing, they must have done all of the scenes when her lip is split toward the end of the movie,
Okay.
because supposedly she really did that to herself.
Oh, Alicia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
She supposedly she busted her lip open in her trailer.
That's unnecessary, being you don't actually see it happen.
Right.
It's not like in Hereditary where the boy breaks his nose on his desk. And that was sort of part of the scene, because I think the actor did on accident hurt his own face.
Did you just say on accident? Did you really just say on accident?
Well, I don't think he meant to break his face into the desk as hard as he
I was
did.
talking about your grammar.
On accident.
By accident, love.
By accident.
By accident. You could people could just avoid that altogether by just saying accidentally.
Yes, they could.
He's taking a shot. I could feel it. I've driven him to it.
No, actually,
Everyone,
I
this is
didn't
me.
set up a drink for myself today.
You said that
a
the
bit
last
too
time too.
No, I didn't. I told you
Yes,
in
you
advance
did.
that I had a shot to go. I had a longer shot that time.
Oh my god. See, this is what happens. I drive people to alcoholism. See, that's where the saying comes from, I drive you to drink. Shane, are you okay? And that you could tell was dubbed in. for Cheyenne.
Yes.
When she turns around.
I was just daydreaming, thinking about how Madonna fell off a horse. I don't know why, but...
This is another good scene. When I just love her delivery for so many of these lines. When he says he was waiting for Cheyenne, and so now you like Cheyenne. And her voice cracks too. I really think she's a very, very underrated actress.
I think, yeah. And it's what you were saying, is that she just seemed to have taken the wrong roles.
Yep. Well, I'm sure that after Clueless, she got offered every ditzy blonde role under the sun. And, you know, if she were stupid, she would have taken them. But she wanted to be more hands-on with her roles. So
Yeah.
what I was saying before, when she did Excess Baggage, she started her own production company.
Well, I guess, like, from a financial business mind, that might be the better way. Like, if you're looking at it from that perspective, you know, to set up a future for yourself, production would be the best way to go. But in saying that, you need to pick the right roles.
Yeah, and the right project in general, because you know I like Excess Baggage. It's cute. It's not a perfect movie. It definitely has its flaws. She could have picked a better script for that to be her first film under the
hands-on
the
role.
first Kiss production. Yeah. Yeah. And I remember when she was on David Letterman talking about it to promote the movie, and he was amazed that she was only 20 at the time. She was doing all this stuff. And during this time, she spoke a lot about her dog. She had this dog. She had this dog that she adopted that was it was a pit bull, Rottweiler, and something else. But it was another one of those like crazy attack dogs. And they were it was three all mixed together.
Yeah.
And every time she would mention it, people would be like, "Whoa." But his name was Samson, and she was always talking about Samson in interviews.
Yeah.
And I remember reading a magazine article where she was sitting with the journalist outside with Samson, and the mailman was walking by, and he did a double take, and he said to her, "Did anybody ever tell you you look like that girl in the movie Clueless?" And she just goes, "Heard it before."
Yeah.
And he goes, "A lot," and then waves and kept on going. I just like that. Heard it before. Now, this is a fucking ridiculous fire hazard.
Yes. And is it accessible from other parts of the house?
I think there's an entrance somewhere under the stairs.
Yeah.
Because it's a storage space. Because when he moves in, the mother says there's spare furniture, and I think that's where it was supposed to be kept.
Oh, yeah.
So there's got to be a way to get in from the outside. But how that got all set up and lit
Yes, that it's still lit.
for him to find, I don't know.
The fact that it's got power tools as a renter.
Yeah. Well. And why he gets the locks changed with the kryptonite? That costs an additional $40 apparently. If he was planning on moving right away, why did you do that?
Because she is his kryptonite.
I see what you did there. Oh, there's another F-bomb too. And I bet you this was an improv on her part. Right there. Answer the fucking phone.
His typing is so slow.
I used to love that sound of the typing sound on like
On the typewriter?
those old. No. Oh God, I hated the typing sound on a typewriter. I hated typewriters in general, but I like that typing sound on like the older computers with the bigger keys.
My sister had an electric typewriter, and that was fun because the
Yeah,
old
I
one,
did too.
you know, the keys used to jam up, and it was like, ugh, bloody hell.
Yeah. Oh God, they were the worst. Yeah, I had an electric typewriter. Then I graduated to a word processor, but I had a really nice one. It had a monitor. It wasn't like one of those that just had like the little screen.
Yeah,
above
like the
the
size of a
keys.
calculator type of thing.
Yeah, no, it was an actual. It was a black and white
Oh.
monitor, but it was a backlit monitor,
Yep.
and yeah, it took floppies, and I used it to write a lot of my high school novellas when I was trying to be R.L. Stine. Speaking of Fear Street,
What's
I
the
wrote
font
a
of
lot.
typewriters? Courier New?
Courier, yeah.
Yep.
I think Courier New is what the is for a PC, but yeah, I think it's Courier. And there's another one that the older non-electric typewriters had that I can't remember the name of.
It wasn't like Times New Roman or Roman.
No,
Yeah.
no. Now, is this benefit the thing where she storms in and slaps him in the face? Was that the benefit that she's talking about?
I'm not sure because that seemed like a work thing that he should be involved in.
Yeah, and I don't remember seeing Jennifer Rubin there during that scene.
Was that before or after her bee sting attack? Or wasp sting?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was after. That's right.
Apparently she provided her own wardrobe. That the director liked how she dressed herself and just thought,
Jennifer Rubin?
yeah.
I think she ended up keeping the haircut
Yeah.
Since
she did-
this
she did-
movie.
that was her Rachel.
Yeah. Another one of my favorite moments coming up when she goes full tilt psycho with the meat cleaver.
That was her.
And how she
bunny
didn't wake up her
boiler moment.
parents, I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
That was her what moment?
Her bunny boiler moment.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
In Fatal Attraction, where Glenn
Oh,
boils
bunny
bunny.
boiling. Oh, yeah, no, I was never big on that movie. I didn't really like it. I really didn't need to see that much of Glenn Close, thank you. And the sex scenes were not even sexy, they were fucking gross. Like them fucking on the sink, on the dirty dishes, and then her putting the faucet. Ugh.
Well, at least they washed the dishes afterwards.
I guess I don't want to talk about it.
Or the lemon bashing scene that was in the trailer in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, and that right there was where she's supposed to pull the sheets.
Yeah. Could have seen some British penis.
Yeah. You know he's got some foreskin. Although, oh,
There's the Brit.
I just had to hear the line. But although there is an English porn star who I am fond of, who is circumcised.
Oh.
And there used to be an Australian straight porn star I used to be quite fond of who was circumcised.
Oh. I'm actually not a big fan on Australian porn.
Well, he did American.
Oh, okay. But I don't know how much gay Australian porn. Like, 'cause the only Australian porn I've flicked across was straight, and
Ew, why?
well, no, I didn't watch. I mean, I think I caught like less than a minute of it, but the dialogue was more funny for me than anything. And why does Jennifer leave her window open anyway?
Doesn't she have a convertible?
No, she's got a Jeep.
Oh. I thought she had a convertible too. Like, not quite as nice as Nick's Valiant. I remember watching this with my father. I was like, what is a Valiant? Because I never even heard of it. He was like, I don't even know. An old car? Because it seemed like a car from his generation.
In Australia, I reckon that they were part of the Chrysler group. Because we had Valiants. They were quite popular here. But I didn't really know that they were in America. My neighbour used to have one. She used to have the stick shift.
Nothing like a good stick shift. These days, I think, are long over. Wouldn't you think? Although, they did have some darkroom scenes in 13 Reasons Why.
Oh.
I remember.
Yes, it's sort of a...
retro.
Yes. Like in high school, we did study photography, and I got to work in the darkroom. Just black and white, because the color ones are much harder to you need to do them in a bag. That's how much they can't be shown to light.
I did not know that.
Whereas the black and white ones, you can have like a red light going on.
Interesting.
And
No,
I,
we
feel that,
didn't.
I reckon that these are bees as opposed to wasps. Just what?
Yeah, because from what I remember, they have the yellow and black stripes,
Yeah.
and wasps have those they're white wings, aren't they?
Well, I feel that wasps are more the black as spotty as opposed to stripes.
Because you see them starting to come through the vent,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they do look like bees, from what
Yeah.
I remember. I can't say that I'm fond of that moment where you see her hand throw the bottle and like the bees are all like glued to her skin.
Yes. Although I've just come off listening to your podcast of Phenomena, so another insect movie.
Oh, you finished it?
Hmm.
Well, I hope you weren't too bored.
No. Although I did notice it was on Tubi after the fact, and I started watching it and just couldn't watch it so close to having listened to it.
No, I was just going over a few things.
You hadn't seen it? I thought you've seen it before.
No, I've seen it a long time ago. Maybe a decade ago.
Did you get to see the whole thing?
A decade ago? Yeah.
No, I mean, what didn't you say you were watching it on Tubi?
Oh, no, I started watching it on Tubi, but because I had just listened to it with you, I didn't want to watch it again. So I'll watch it in a few weeks' time.
Mm.
What's wrong?
She's at the hospital.
There's some fake sympathy.
Yes. Let's have some comfort sex.
Uh-huh.
And she played a virgin in Clueless.
Mm-hmm.
For most of it. Or did she lose it at the end?
No, she doesn't. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Dion does.
Yes. I always thought it was weird how she gets with her brother at the end. I know they're not related, but just with Josh.
Josh. Yeah. Well, it was clearly planned that they were going to end up together because they make it a point to have her say things like, Josh, you are not my brother, or my ex-stepbrother's friends are having a party. And when she says to her father, you were hardly even married to his mother, and that was 5 years ago. Why do I have to see Josh? I know that movie inside out, too. But fucking, no, there's a thing about their dynamic that bothered me a bit because like in the beginning they like hated each other and then all of a sudden they're like, you know, cozied up watching TV eating Cheetos. And some of us are not lucky enough to be as naturally adorable as you are. That I don't know, I'm a freak. I've just seen Clueless way too many times. If you look like Paul Rudd, maybe.
Yes. He is someone who has aged well.
He hasn't aged at all.
Yes. And coming up is the best slap in cinema history, I reckon.
You think?
Oh, it's the great
hard.
sound. Yes.
It's very hard.
Hi, sweetheart.
And see, the thing with girls, you have to be, ooh.
Sorry.
The thing with girls that you have to be careful of is no matter what is going on, all they have to do is scream. And they look like the victim.
All you have to do
like
is
when
squeeze.
she starts in the trailer, she hits that harder.
Yeah.
In the trailer, she's, I love you, Nikki. You love me. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, she doesn't say it like that. Yeah, it was a different take. But that scream, and then you see Michael's face, and it's like, oh, that's not gonna look good.
She's very conniving. She's a clever girl.
Oh, yes. Very much. I must say, I do like the grandson who comes to the door. He's not very cute, but he does have a nice body, and you can clearly see
wrestler
some
build.
nipple. Yeah. And you can see some nipple protrusion. You see? You see that? You
Yes.
see that shit right there? You see? Oh, I know you do. I know you're looking. See, when I have you or when I have James on for a commentary, this show gets so much gayer.
It gets very blue. Oh God, what's this for?
Are the doggies still looking at you?
Yeah, there's like a half-foot crack in the window where the curtain hasn't covered, and both of their faces are just judging me.
Oh, that's so sad.
And Mitchell is
so
like
bad.
a master at furrowing his brow.
Oh,
Mind telling me what this is all about? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. You're under arrest. What? For sexual assault of a minor. What? What are you talking about? Wait a minute. Wait a second.
I have to say though, when she gets institutionalized, and she develops a new infatuation with her doctor.
Yeah.
He was really not much. I mean, like, he wasn't ugly. He was just a very average-looking guy.
Well, yeah. Although I think he has similar hair to Carrie. Just thinking back on it now.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
I
he
think
had that
Carrie's
slicked
better
back.
looking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, Carrie's definitely better looking.
Although I feel like maybe they should have cast a father that looked more like the guys that she was crushing over. Like to sort of have that whole Oedipal syndrome part of it. But because the father doesn't look like anything. He looks too old for the wife.
I wonder if this was scripted because it seems and it looks and it feels and it sounds very much like she's just making it up.
Yeah. Like maybe she was just given dot points.
Yeah.
Breaks into the place. You know, she scratches up my car. I mean, the girl is completely spun. Why won't anyone fucking believe me?
The accent came out right there.
Yes.
You think I'm crazy? No.
Ever at any time place your penis inside of her vagina?
I just told you. She's crazy. She's the one
You ought to lock up right there.
You act like she's crazy.
I didn't do anything. Jesus
Mm.
Christ. Did you check out
Got his nuts in a vice here.
the one with the shrine?
Yeah, you're done. Yeah, if this was real life, he would still be in prison.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
I
there
didn't
wouldn't
even
be any
understand how he
happy
got
ending.
out. Someone paid his bail or something.
The Michael did, his boss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they paid his bail because they want, and I think they gave him some money, because they wanted him to get away from that house.
Yeah.
Here, they're saying it.
Until that time, you're not permitted within 100 feet of the house. After they've gone, you can
I think I just didn't recognize the boss here.
the semen sample matches.
That is so fucking psycho to steal a condom and insert the semen into yourself and call rape. That is really fucking psychotic.
It's like,
And you really
that's
do have to
simple.
be smart. You really have to be smart to think to do something like that.
to go through old trash to find a condom.
And when he says condom too, the accent comes out. She must have snuck in and stolen one from the trash.
She got my franger.
Yeah, he does the bleeding English accent in Saw a lot too.
Yes. Well, I find that with a lot of like non-American actors is when they start yelling, that's when their national tongue can come out.
Yeah.
Like when they're being very passionate.
That's generally when my South Philly accent comes out. So, but then you see Lee Winnell, Aussie, with his perfect American accent.
Although I don't know if I've ever heard him talking in the Aussie accent.
I have in interviews. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it's like a gift that you have, the Australians, that you're able to emulate the American accent so effortlessly.
Well, I personally reckon the Australian accent is one of the easiest to lose and one of the hardest to pick up.
Yeah, I've heard that. It's one of the most difficult to pick up. Yep.
Yeah. Like I've had a friend in high school who visited. He lived in Britain for like maybe half a year, and he came back and never lost his very posh.
Well, that radio personality I told you about, Jason Ellis.
Yeah.
He's from Melbourne, I think, and he's been living here for 30 years or something, and he still has his Australian accent.
Okay.
He's dead. He ate something poisoned.
Oh, he died.
But Darian knows stuff.
Oh,
Stuff that other kids don't know.
the counselor. Yeah, I forgot about that. What is she known for? She's known for something.
She was in Buffy.
I think, yeah, that's
She
it.
played Tara McClay.
Darian kept a diary.
Wasn't she Willow's girlfriend or some shit like that?
I never. I only say this out of research. I never watched Buffy.
Oh.
You gotta forget all about Darian. She's sick, you understand?
Yeah, I think they were like trying to be a little trendy when they made Willow a lesbian.
When was that compared in the 90s? Or was that quite late?
Well, it wasn't, because I watched the first couple seasons, so it was definitely after 2000.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I think it started in 97 or 98.
Yeah.
97.
No, I only bring it up because of the lesbian in Fear Street being unrealistic.
Right.
Like being that Willow was such a breakthrough lesbian.
I don't think they were still in high school at the time when she became a lesbian. Or she was a lesbian. I shouldn't say that. Became a lesbian. Or her character, they turned her character into a lesbian. There you go. What were you going to say?
No, but as a high school viewer, that might have encouraged, girls or boys who were same-sex orientated to feel more confident to come out.
Hopefully.
Well, I think it's always good to see your own self reflected on telly.
Mm-hmm.
And not in some, bad or comedic way.
Yeah. Yeah, I never, ever, ever thought that there would be a day where there would be openly gay or teenagers or openly gay middle schoolers.
Yeah.
Because when I was in school, which would have been 1994 when Fear Street was taking place, being gay was the worst thing in the world you could possibly be.
Yeah. Well, that was such a common, not insult, but like, that's so gay, you know?
Well, yes, but it could ruin your reputation, too, if somebody thought that you were.
Yeah, yeah.
Now she moved her shrine. Yeah. I don't know if I told this story on the on any of the episodes before, but now that we're talking about this, I always think of this episode of a show that I heard on NPR. I'm gonna go cornball, so forgive me. This is supposed to be a horror podcast after all, but it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard in my life. It was his first grade little boy, and he knew that he was in the wrong body, and his parents were accepting of it, and they told the school and everything, and started the transition to put him into girls' clothing and everything. And the first day that it started, the teacher said to the class, okay, so this is, I don't know, Jonathan, who we all used to know as Jonathan. From now on, he is going to be Jennifer or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was this little boy in the background. This is the most beautiful thing I ever heard. Little boy in the background raised his hand and said, "Can we have a birthday party for her?"
Oh.
How woke was that kid? First grade?
Accidents happen, Nick.
Yeah, and I kind of told that story over Alicia going full tilt, psycho bitch.
Well, you got to have the contrast of the children are the future versus
So sad it had to end this way.
the children are going to kill us all.
Yeah, well, it reminds me of a Jeanine Garofalo joke, which he says it's something like that sweet little toddler is going to turn into a 14-year-old addicted to meth and will kill you in your sleep. She doesn't like kids.
Yes.
Well, she doesn't like teenagers. She likes babies and toddlers, but she hates teenagers.
You'd like to sort of skip over that part.
Yeah. She said, I will spend hours talking with a toddler. I will cross a street to avoid going anywhere near a teenager. Oh, and it's so bad. It's so bad with this, with the dubbing of him screaming, "Adrian, Adrian." And it's a totally different voice. And what boggles my mind is how nobody really notices it a lot of the time. What were you going to say about Cheyenne?
It's a very similar name to Adrian, because I thought, like, he first said that when I misheard what he said, and then I realised that he's calling for Cheyenne.
I always hated that pause there. He breaks the door, stops, screams her name, and then runs into the house.
Although I don't know what made him realise that she was going psycho. Why he came back to the house even.
I don't know. She doesn't say. I don't think Alan Shapiro had it figured out when he wrote the script, because she said, "My parents tried to take me away, but I fooled them." That's all she says.
Yeah. He didn't really have a long career, Alan Shapiro. I had thought that he had a longer career, but I think I was confusing him with George Shapiro.
Didn't he work on Seinfeld?
Yes, so that's where I kept seeing the name. So I thought this was where he was. But no, they're different people altogether, obviously. Like, I think Alan Shapiro's last credit was Flipper in '96.
Ugh. Now, if she was older, her character was older, he would have killed her.
Yeah.
He would have pushed her out of a window, as the villains in these kinds of movies so often die. But he fucking belts her one so hard where she flies across the room.
Yes.
And knocks her out.
Well, it's probably the first time she's ever been slapped.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all she ever needed. Like in that South Park episode, if you remember that.
No.
It was a long time ago, but I think like all the kids were being put on Ritalin, and Chef was like, "Oh, all you have to do is slap him," like that.
There it goes.
Ooh.
And I don't know nobody thought to stop the carousel. Because you see, Cheyenne keeps coming by.
Yes.
Poor Cheyenne. I remember, like a year or two after this had come out, looking, because I always used to look at the young adult thrillers. It's where I used to get all my Fear Street books, in the Kmart. And there was a book called The Crush 2. And I was like, what? And I read the back. I remember reading the back of it and thinking, this doesn't sound like The Crush. So I thought it was a sequel, but it was dealing with different characters.
Yeah.
And then years later, I ended up finding it on Amazon, and it was a totally different. It was a sequel to a totally different book called The Crush that had nothing to do with this. But it stuck with me a long time because I always liked the movie, and I would have been curious about a sequel.
Yeah.
Even if it was in book form.
Well, like apparently, in saying this, IMDb, I think with the trivia, that's all public donated. There's a suggestion that there could have been a sequel at the end, but who knows if that was really suggested.
No, I don't think that was supposed to be a suggestion of a sequel. I think it was
think that either.
I think more than anything, it was supposed to show the audience that she's not well. She's still not well. Even though the doctor, and this right here, I think that's in the trivia. When he's looking through the letters, they all say Darian on them because they couldn't. That was one thing that they couldn't fix.
Yeah.
But yeah, the doctor says you're making such progress and blah blah blah, and then when she takes out his picture, you're like, no, you're not.
He's not a very good doctor. Like he can't read his patients very well.
No. What she really needed was just somebody to smack her across the head and say, "Cut the shit." Or you're going to fucking reform school. That's where she should be. Reform school.
They should just give her a dildo.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Now,
Well, this music is very porno-y, so I can see where you probably got that idea. Yeah, they changed her name in the end credits, I remember, to Adrian.
yeah.
Yeah, they did as much as they could to remove Darian.
Now, if you
From
can give
the
me a
final.
minute, I have to head out of the room for a minute.
Yes, so you go do what you have to do, and I'll try to just hurry it up, and I'll try to keep the audience entertained. Okay, so now that he's gone, I get to talk about him. He's going to take a pee-pee, and last time we recorded, or one of the last times that we recorded, I was so miffed because I thought that he got up and walked away from the show because he was so bored with what I was saying, but he actually went and peed in the backyard. Yeah, that's what he did. And that's probably what he's doing right now, and I want the whole world to know that. The Thunder from Down Under pees in the backyard, and he's probably being watched by the dogs as we speak. And I'm sitting here twiddling my pubic hair while there's a pan flute playing over the end title music of The Crush, all by myself. I can't believe they brought a pan flute in to this music. That's bad. So anyway, that was The Crush. One of my favorites, and I still think it holds up quite well.
I heard everything you said then.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say anything.
Sorry for pissing all over your movie.
I wasn't talking about you at all. I definitely wasn't talking about you peeing at all.
Although something I was going to say earlier is something that I agree with is I was watching like it was a documentary or something along those lines but it was saying in regards to young girls getting mothers to actually buy them a vibrator because
oh my god.
it was so that they don't associate an orgasm with the man, so that they know that they can bring it on themselves. Because, like, it was trying to suggest that some girls can get locked into a relationship because they think that only the guy can give them what they're enjoying.
That's so fucking stupid. And plus, women are always told not to use sex toys too often because you get addicted to them. And that's
Really?
it ends up being the only way they can have an orgasm.
You know, it's like Charlotte from that show that she mentioned.
Yeah, which got the fucking rabbit, and then all of a sudden, every woman on Earth was walking around with a rabbit up her twat. But fucking, but there are, not, well, well, I know because I'm a very well-rounded individual that there are two types of women who have orgasms through penetration and women who have orgasms through clitoral contact.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't, so that's why certain women don't like cunnilingus.
Oh, okay. Because it doesn't reach deep enough?
No, they can't have an orgasm through cunnilingus.
Yep.
They need some kind of, or unless the guy's doing something else. Generally, they will. I fucking like think I'm Dr. Ruth all of a sudden. I think I'm not. This is not researched or anything, you know. So you can't go by me. But I think that for those who have can only have clitoral orgasms, the penetration is more about providing pleasure for the man.
Yeah.
But I don't really think they like it that much.
But do they dislike it?
I don't know.
Dr. Ford?
I don't think they do. Well, there are some women who don't like it that much.
Yeah.
But yes, I did know. I didn't have some friends of friends who couldn't have orgasms during penetration. So
Yeah.
generally what they would do is the guy would do what he had to do, and then after he would go down on her.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice of the guy.
Yeah, I would. He would have to be really nice to do something like that, I would say.
Oh, well. Yeah. Then I
Do
must
you
be
want to
really
do
nice.
it? Because I don't.
Well, not with a woman. What? Because I'm not hetero.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You didn't have to whisper it like it was a fucking big secret.
No. Oh.
Like it was a bad thing. State
No.
your
You got me thinking
sexuality
like, oh,
loud and
no, I
proud.
wonder
What?
if he used a condom because, like, if he didn't, then that would really be nice of him.
I know. I was thinking that when I said it too.
Be
Well,
good,
there are.
Good for the flavored lube industry.
Oh God, Jesus Christ! There are women too, I guess, who do the raw dog thing, who have to flip the bean during penetration. Why are we talking about this?
I know,
Oh,
that's what I was
because
thinking.
a certain
Because of the
somebody-
vibrator.
A certain somebody brought up vibrators. Yeah, that's why we're talking about this.
Well, it's although now I feel like one of those vintage doctors who like prescribed vibrators for like hysteria.
I didn't know about that. That must be an
Well,
Australian thing.
No, I reckon that there's even the Kinski. I think that's who it was. Where he used to prescribe like a good vibrator.
He would prescribe.
Yeah, for hysteria, because that was considered, hysteria was to do with the like hysterectomy type of that word. So it was a moving. It was something weird. Something that they thought of, when they were still dealing with cocaine and everything.
All right. Okay. So, since you're at your computer and the movie is over, can you do us a favor and check out the Wikipedia page for the gross? Because I'm curious about it.
Oh, how much? Okay. Gross.
Yeah. You're not typing in gross into Google, are you?
I am
The
actually.
Crush. Just go to The Crush 1993 film Wikipedia. What the fuck? Who taught you how to Google?
No, well, I was just trying to be quick with it, and that just made it slower anyway.
Well, I wanted to know the budget too, so I was going to ask you some questions.
Is that in Wikipedia or IMDb?
It's on Wikipedia.
Okay.
Just in Google, The Crush 1993 film Wikipedia or Wiki.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Well, oh yeah. So the budget was 6 million. The box office was 13.6 million United States. So I don't know about worldwide. So it wasn't a flop.
So it wasn't a runaway. It wasn't a flop, but it wasn't a huge hit.
No.
And that 6 million doesn't count for promotion and advertising, which is
Well,
at least
usually-
another couple million.
Is it usually the amount of the budget type of thing? So like another 6 million?
No, that's not in the budget. No.
No. Let's say the budget for the movie is 6 million. They might spend another 6 promoting it.
No, they're not going to spend not a movie like this. They're not going to spend another 6. They might spend 1 or 2.
Yep.
But no, when they say the budget, that all goes into the making of the movie, and then Warner Brothers, who distributed it, had to put up the money to promote it.
You know, Alan Shapiro doesn't even get a link in Wikipedia.
I was looking for his interview to see if somebody uploaded his interview from the supplemental materials on the Blu-ray,
Oh, yeah.
but they did
no.
not.
I'll have a look around as well for you if you like.
I wonder if he looks like Carrie Elways.
Alan Shapiro. He didn't actually have a photo in IMDb.
He did or he didn't?
Did not.
Well, I mean, he wrote Flipper, so why the fuck would he? Jesus Christ.
Christ on a cracker. Although I think it's a photographer now, if that's the same person. Oh, there's a few different Alan Shapiros, so I can't tell you who they are.
Well, that means then you have to go to Google and type in The Crush 1993 IMDb. Why do I have to tell you these things?
No. Well, that's what I was saying is that his picture wasn't on IMDb.
Uh-huh. But are you sure it's the right one?
Yes. Anyway, so we were saying how the movie puts the song Crush in my head, but we were talking about Jennifer Page, but it's actually the one that gets in my head is Mandy Moore.
Mandy Moore. I was thinking about that.
Mm.
I was thinking about that. That's a better song, I think.
I like that song, yeah. I mean, Jennifer Page's was the one-hit wonder for her, but...
Yeah.
There used to be a talk show in Australia called The Panel, and Mandy Moore performed The Crush live, and I was really impressed that she could perform well. Like, I think at the time I was thinking like...
Yeah, she does have a voice.
Yeah.
She does have a good voice. But interestingly enough, she has said in interviews that she considers herself to be a mediocre singer.
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe by way of range, but what she does very well. I think she's being a bit hard on herself.
Yes, I think so too.
But in saying that,
Just
I'm not a big Mariah Carey. Like, I'm not a fan so much of the ones who do have their big octave range. It's like, well done to you. I can't sing along with that.
No, I don't. I think all that is just showboating anyway.
Yes.
I don't think there's any real emotion or heart behind it. And while Whitney Houston in her prime was technically an amazing singer, she was incredibly boring live.
Oh, okay. My other half has said that her concert in Melbourne is the worst he has ever seen any concert, but I think that was later in her life.
Yeah, because she was so fucking
after
cocky
that
she didn't take care of her voice. Just like I think she and Mariah were the same in that they at one point had a vast vocal range and that they thought they were the greatest singers in the world and that it was always going to be the case and they didn't have to do anything. And your voice, you have to take care of. I mean, if you listen to Celine Dion, who was one of the greatest singers in the world, she may not be one of my favorites, but there's no denying she's an amazing talent.
Yeah.
Her voice has not changed at all.
Yeah.
For the
'Cause she
bad,
works on
I
it.
mean, for the
Yeah.
worse. She works on it. She takes
Yeah.
care of her voice, and when she's got a concert, she doesn't talk all day. So she knows where her bread is buttered. So
And I imagine, like, just looking at her body, she knows what muscles she has to look after that help with singing as well. Like, to be able to, I forget the name of them. Where you sing from the stomach level, you need to really tighten those muscles to sing well. And anyway,
I heard you're supposed to sing from your asshole. I'm not kidding.
was that in Pink Flamingos?
No. No.
Is that where you saw that?
God. That
But
really left an impression on you, didn't it?
Something I've wondered is because I've always felt that Kylie Minogue's voice hasn't changed over the years, that she still can reach her tinny that she did in the 80s. And I've always wondered if that was because she never had a child, because I know that with a lot of female singers, the pregnancy can move around a lot of the organs and can actually change their delivery.
Yeah, especially if you have to sing from the asshole.
Yes.
So maybe her asshole didn't get moved around, and that's why she can still sing well live.
Her clack is intact.
Yeah, and she's another in the like Mandy Moore kind of realm where she doesn't wail, but what she does well live. I don't know why. Whenever I think of her singing live, I just remember when the Fever album came out and they were really trying to, get her an American audience, and she performed on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah.
When Ian McKellen was hosting, and he was so excited.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, because when he introduced her, he went, "You lucky people, it's Kylie Minogue," and then he danced out of frame, and then he went to the side of the stage and sat against the wall and watched her sing, and it was like dancing.
It's very sweet.
It was cute. Yeah, it was cute because he's a big Kylie fan apparently.
The Big Mo. A song that she does live well is Your Disco Needs You, and that's got some good, powerful notes. But
what is it?
It's called Your Disco Needs You. It's very camp, but it's got some good belters in there towards the end.
Oh, okay.
Have you been getting into new music lately?
No.
Yeah. I've been I've been working out, and I've been listening to an artist called Plack Blake, who I've been liking. So I don't know if you'd like him though. It's a bit death metal-y, but he says his influence by disco. So
oh, well, I don't like disco.
Then why did you tell me earlier that you do? Just kidding.
Jesus Christ. We need to wrap this up.
Yes.
You do realize
more
that
of
we're
your
still
secrets
recording.
come out. All right. It's been lovely doing the crush with you. We'll have to think of what next one to do.
We already do. We know what we're doing next.
Does it start with an S and a C and end in a 2?
Does.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
It does.
Speaking of camp. Okay.
You are a quick one. Okay. Well, thank you very much to Tony for
thank you, Brandon,
joining me again.
Mm-hmm.
This was fun as always, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And Until next time, this is Brandon Ford wishing you all unpleasant dreams.